What's going on, y'all? It is your boy, the real Uriah, back here with another video. Sorry if you heard my dishwasher in the background at the beginning of this video. I'm washing motherfucking dishes, dog. But check it. Okay, so I am sad to inform you that you are all caught up to the videos. Honestly, I've been trying to find time to make videos in between in between the stuff that I had going on, but the stuff that I had going on overtook those. So, I'm glad that, we're all caught up. I hope that y'all are having an awesome new year in this first month. It's about to enter into February. And I hope y'all had an awesome Christmas and stuff like that. If you're seeing this today, that means that I have posted something saying that, hey, sorry for not posting today, you know what I mean, on my TikTok and my Instagram, which is popping up right now. Make sure y'all go check that out. For some reason I can't put my Instagram in my TikTok bio, so I'll probably just put it there for y'all to copy and paste that mug. Is there anything else? It's already going to be a long video. So this is going to be the Altercations in School Part 3. And this one is a little, grim or whatever. So let's just dive right on into it. Let's go. All right, this takes place in high school, my freshman year. There's a lot of stuff I'm gonna leave out because it deals with a lot of people, but I haven't discussed it with them whether or not they want to, the full details of their, just a lot of stuff. So I was already nervous entering high school because of the, whole 13 Reasons Why series that I finished. You know what I mean? This is what I thought that was what it was going to be like when entering high school for the first time in freshman year. But surprisingly, it wasn't like that. And again, this is from me coming from a place where I knew everybody that I knew in Buchanan Middle School that I grew up with, the Son of Third. A lot of people, just the whole situation, the whole thing. Like it was night, it was day and night compared to middle school in Buchanan with everybody I knew to night with Robinson High School that I went to. So, and including the area. Again, I did not want to go to Robinson High School, because I wanted to stick around with my friends. But before entering Robinson High School, there is a person that I met in Boys and Girls Club that became one of my longtime best friends, still to this day. That we entered together in high school. So, okay. Where am I gonna go from here? Okay, there's a lot of stuff that happened. I don't know how long into the freshman year I was. I know that it had to be like a little minute, you know what I mean? I was in there for a minute, getting adjusted, seeing new faces, not knowing this area and stuff like that. There was a lot of, issues all around me, not like in Buchanan Middle School or in, that area. This area, there was a lot of issues and stuff like that. There was definitely some police. There was a lot of stuff going on around the area. So, I was definitely new to that. So, here we go. Sorry, y'all. My mind is not really, because when because this story there's a lot of stuff that goes into the story. So let's just jump in, I guess. I'm just gonna pick up strand and we're just gonna go with it. There was someone that was being bullied in their middle school. All right, and I know this person. They were getting bullied in this middle school, and I needed to step in for reasons. You all will probably get like a full whatever, like, disclose details on the podcast whenever I decide to make that mug. But right now, I'm sorry. Just deal with the details, deal with this, and hopefully, y'all get to hear the details later down the road. But there was a reason why I had to enter this into their issues, and me coming from don't hit them until they come into your space or they put their hands on you, this and the third, me always coming from, like I said, my past altercations, it was always one-on-one. It was always, one of those things. But besides probably the first part where, the whole class was like, we had enough, you know what I mean? That was understandable. But from middle school, there was always like one-on-one. There was no jumping or anything like that. And this and the third. The person that was, sorry if y'all can hear that, there were sirens. So for this person, he was dealing with 3 people that was messing with him. And this was new to me. This is like, I won't say unheard of because I knew that it existed, but I thought like a lot of people wouldn't do it because of how cowardice it was. But, in this area, a lot of people did not mind, being recognized as, cowardice or anything like that, so I didn't know that going to this school to like, I never came on some hot stuff, you know what I mean? I came to talk it out, to resolve this so it doesn't become a bigger issue. Yeah, so that went left. That whole thing went out of the window when I came. Like it was a scene that I never saw before. It was like an outer body experience. I'm walking up and I see the person that I need to like defend, and then these 3 people with a crowd behind them. I'm like, what the hell is going on? You know what I mean? And I'm like, like, hey, how's it going? My name's Uriah, this, how y'all doing? We don't need this, we supposed to, stick together, this and the third, what's going on? Now, this person that I was defending, he was soft-spoken, this and the third, you know what I mean? He he had a mouth, I'll say that. He had a mouth, but he was soft-spoken. He wasn't really, if it came push to shove, he wasn't really, there's not 100% that he will defend himself, so, which is why I had to step in. Sorry, y'all. But yeah. So I tried, and these kids, the 3 kids were almost my height at this time. You know what I mean? These were like big kids, and I didn't know what grade. Apparently, they might have been in the same grade. The person I was defending in the 3, it was 2 dudes and a girl. This girl was almost taller than me. I'm gonna say it. You know what I mean? This was like, excuse me if y'all heard that. I was like, in my mind, I was like, man, what did he do to make them niggas that mad? I was trying this whole time. I was trying to talk and resolve this. You know what I mean? But the ignorance was, there was ignorance coming. There was ignorance all in the air. You know what I mean? They were ready to rumble this and the third. I'm like, no, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Just stop. You know what I mean? We ain't on that type of timing. You know what I mean? I'm literally telling them, no, stop. No, we're not doing that. Go. We're cool. You know what I mean? I'm trying to talk it out. It doesn't have to be that. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be diplomatic. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to take it there. He's not trying to take it there. You know what I mean? He's running his mouth, but I'm like, I'm just, sorry. It was just a big thing. It was just like, and then like there's a police officer, this and the third. I'm like, cool. All right, cool. Let's just get out of here while they're getting held up. Let's just get out of here, and we gonna have a huge long talk, bro. Because this, like, none of the I'd never been jumped before. You know what I mean? This is new territory. All, like I said, always one-on-one. I usually came out on top. So, and that's not me trying to toot my horn. I'm just stating facts. This is all real, not fiction. You know what I mean? So, we're going down the street. You know what I mean? This and the third, and then we're like, okay, once we get past here, we'll get down the street, and then we're into familiar territory. I don't know what the fuck we're doing over here. You know what I mean? We had to make a whole detour to avoid these people. You know what I mean? They were being belligerent and following us. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, just ignore them. This and the third, just ignore them. Cool. So we're ignoring them. This and the third. They're, like pack of hyenas. You know what I mean? Like, if y'all ever seen the Lion King movie, if you haven't, it's a very good classic movie. Y'all better go watch that joint. I Disney, for my favorite Disney movie, it would have to be Lion King, but that's beside the point. So these big middle schoolers are circling us, as we're trying to, hey bro, we good, just chill, dog, they're yelling and stuff like that. They're like running up on us, but not like swinging or anything like that, just trying to provoke us or anything, something like that. You know what I mean? I was trying to make sure he was good. I'm like, bro, this is way too much. You know what I mean? This is doing too much. And for me, I don't hit women. That's a huge big thing. That's still a huge big thing. I don't hit women. You know what I mean? If I'm the type of guy, if like a woman puts their hands on me, I'm not the type to fight back. You know what I mean? I'll probably deflect or something like that, but I'm not gonna go hey. You know what I mean? I'm just like that, and I guess it was just how I was raised. This and the third. But this brolic woman, was literally trying to, put the pause on, us. And I'm just saying, like, if I got one good blow from her, like if I got a good blow to the chin, I'm going down. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to exaggerate. I'm being dead serious. Like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden, boom, some hard joint to my chin from one of the dudes, and I'm like, bro, I was not expecting it. I was like, yo, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I'm like going through my head, like, did I not try and talk to him peacefully? Did I escalate this joint? It was crazy. So, all of a sudden I catch another one, boom, from a different dude, this and the third. I'm like, yo, this is really happening. And then all of a sudden, I feel a huge push coming from the girl. And then I get up, they're walking away. This, that, and a third. Da, 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 da. I'm like, yo, that really happened. And I was like, and it came to a point. I was like, okay. I tried to talk it out peacefully with them. This, and a third, and they disregarded everything I said. They didn't care. They didn't want to resolve it peacefully. They just wanted violence, whether they were in the right or in the wrong. So we made it home. You know what I mean? I had to process what the hell was going on, because I don't know how old I was, and I don't know how old I was, but it came to a point I was like, these are kids. I was just in middle school. I just got here to high school. You know what I mean? So I don't know how old these kids were, but they were big. You know what I mean? I would have to say, like, in the next year they would have to, I don't know. I have no idea. I think they were like literally like higher classmen picking on this person that was, that wasn't going to fight back or anything like that. So it was one of those things. So, it was a huge different thing when, in middle school, there was one-on-ones. You know what I mean? Hey, you got a problem? One-on-one, whatever, whoever wins, it is what it is. Don't drag it. You know what I mean? Like I said, from the first altercation, I could have kept on, getting on dude that was being annoying in class, this and the third, but I didn't drag it. You know what I mean? There's a certain point where you don't drag it. You know what I mean? You run your ones, get it over with. Don't drag it. It's over. You know what I mean? See you next year. Type joint. So, so on this certain day, I was furious. I was upset. I was fuming. You know what I mean? I had, thought I had a lot of thinking to do. You know what I mean? I had to talk to him like, yo, what the hell is going on? This and the third. I don't really remember. There is no exact reason why they were picking on him, or this and the third, that I heard, which is probably why I can't remember, why they were picking on him. So, listen, I understand that there's always two sides of the story. You know what I mean? I heard that he was running his mouth, this and the third, da 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 da. He never gave me his side of the story, fully. You know what I mean? I understood that. I basically was like, yo, whatever you doing, stop. Whatever they doing needs to stop. But guess what? If I'm not, they're not gonna listen. You know what I mean? This was escalating way too far. You know what I mean? Jumping somebody because you're upset is cowardice and is wrong. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. So, it would have been different if it would have been different if it was just like one kid that had a problem with him. You know what I mean? It would have been a whole different story. I would have been like, okay, you got a problem with him? You got a problem with him? Cool. Duke it out. You know what I mean? It would have been one of those things. It would have been one of those things. But I'm not letting 3 people bigger than him get on his ass. That's not happening. You know what I mean? That's not cool. So, I would have like let him duke it out. If one person tried to intervene, I would have had to get on that dude, and then it would have been a whole, joint. So, I was like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to bring my boy after school. You know what I mean? Like, keep in mind, we were like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go down to the school, this and the third, he's still being bullied. Okay, cool. I'ma choose one dude from that group that was bullying him. Me and that dude gonna duke it out, because he didn't have to put his hands on me. Now me and him got a problem. Me and the 2 dudes got a problem. The girl, I'm not, like I said, I'm not fighting the girl. This and the third. So, like I said, I was like, me and one dude is gonna duke it out, and then me and the other dude is gonna duke it out, whether they didn't come to school that day or anything like that. It's gonna be one of those things. You know what I mean? And me and dude was like, okay, cool, let's do it. So, we weren't sure if we were gonna do it. We weren't sure. But I got broken up with that day at school. So I wasn't really in a good spot mentally. I was just furious. I was like, bro, I tried to talk it out with them and they were being ignorant and stuff like that. It was just uncalled for, you know what I mean? And if I didn't do anything, he was still going to be bullied. So I was like, I got to do something. I can't, you know what I mean? Apparently, like, the principal has already been involved, and, you know, from his school, all already being involved, but nothing was happening. And I was like, in fear for, you know, his life, you know, because these are ignorant people. If they take it too far, they're not gonna give it a fuck, and they're gonna go to like juvie and shit like that. But guess what? He's already gonna, you know, not gonna be here around anymore. So it was like one of those things. So I was like, I'm caught in a rock and a hard place, you know. So after school, we were like, all right, let's do it. You know what I mean? There was a little pathway. You know, there was a little pathway that the middle schoolers would take to, you know, get home, or this and a third, that they would cut up through a field. Me and old dude was in the bushes. We were waiting to see that one person, and then, you know, old dude is for crowd control. Me and this dude is supposed to, you know, do get out. The person that was bullying the dude I was trying to protect. So we see one of them, and I'm like, okay, cool, let's do it. We jump out, you know, this on the third. I got him held up. Nah, where you going? This on the third. No. So this kid, now that the tables have turned, this kid is like, nah, I don't want no problem, dog. I don't want no problem. Nah, bro, you should. This dude, which was making me more angry, you know what I mean? With the other two people at his back, he was all tough and this and the third. But now he's like, nah, bro, I don't want all that. You know, I don't want any of that. All that crap. You know what I mean? So I'm standing talking to this dude. There's this like a building. I can't really, you know, like a shop, I want to say, like for like yachts or something like that. There's like this big white wall and everything. I got him in front of me. You know what I mean? There's a crowd of middle schoolers at my back. Old dude being crowd control. Now, the girl comes out of nowhere and automatically wants to start swinging this and the third. I'm like, yo, I don't got no problem with you, this and the third. Now, as soon as she comes up, he has the balls to be like, yeah, it was good, nigga, was good. My boy is holding old girl back, and guess what? My boy is not short dude. He's a bit taller than me. He has muscle. This girl is giving him a fight to break through, to come and clock me in the face. So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and do what I gotta do, so my boy doesn't get tired, you know, with this girl. You know what I mean? So we about to get into it. She is jumping, kicking, trying to get out, trying to get past to come and clock me. You know what I mean? It was one of those things. And then she ended up falling on the ground. Now, she falls on the ground. I got this dude right where I want him. Like, I haven't put a hands on him. I was about to, and then all of a sudden, one of the workers came out, and then everybody started dispersing. And so, me and old dude dipped. Hopefully y'all can still hear me. I'm getting a call right now. Hopefully this doesn't mess up the audio. This person called me earlier. Bear with me. Hopefully it's not interrupting, you know, the quality. Excuse me. So me and old dude, the field is like right next to the railroad track, you know, this and the third. And we need to get out of here fast. We need to go. For whatever reason, I can't decide what reason. I don't think it was the worker. I think it was because there was something or someone said, "Oh, police is coming." This and the third. Okay, we need to dip now. So We get on the railroad track and we just getting out of there. We're just ducking and we cutting through like, you know, forest and shit like that, which we weren't participating for. So we come to a part where the railroad track, and then there's like a gap in the forest that we could take all the way down to the road, past our school, cut, you know, right, get to home. You know what I mean? It was one of those things. So we were like, this is the quickest way. So we you know, get through the sorry, I was reading something. We get through the forest, and there's like a river and stuff like that, and we had to jump over this river. There was like snakes coming and shit like that. It was one of those things. I was like, bro, this is a fucking movie. This turned left, bro. This turned fucking left. Now, all of a sudden we hear like, my boy is like, yo, they got bikes. They got bikes and walkies, bro. I'm like, who? So we peep our head, you know, because it's a bit of a railroad, you know, walk in this and the third, and we see kids, like little young ass kids on bikes with walkie-talkies, and we were like, yo, we gotta go, bro. We gotta go. This little issue, these three people bullying this one kid, turned into us running in the forest to get home, because we don't know these little, like 5 little kids on bikes, on walkie-talkies, talking to somebody else on the other side of the walkie-talkie. We don't know what the fuck is going on. And plus, police is supposed to be coming this and the third. We like, let's get home. Let's get home. So we running, we dipping, we going. So at a point, we like, okay, we could either go this way or we could go that way. Because and we're at this corner. We can go this way past on this side there's school. If we go this way, this side is our school, you know, this and the third. So we decided to go this way with traffic where there's people to see us, adults that can see us, you know, this and the third. If something gets a little too dangerous or something like that, you know what I mean, there will be people that will see us. So we're walking this and the third, and we're just like catching our breath this and the third. And then now we made it to like a crosswalk down this. We were about to walk down this, but on the other side is the biggest group of kids I have ever seen in my fucking entire life. You would have thought we were going to the auditorium or something like that. If like there was an announcement or something like that, or it was like a pep rally or something like that. This was the biggest group of kids that I have ever seen in my entire life walking towards us. And I was like, yo, from 3 big kids, mind you, picking on one kid turned into a fucking army of kids coming our way. So I'm like, yo, we could either dip or we could just walk towards whatever certain shit is about to happen. Now, mind you, these are not Buchanan middle schoolers or anything like that. These are not, you know, people that, you know, think before they do. There's some ghetto kids in school, but they also think before they do type shit. You know what I mean? They don't, you know, escalate certain shit to a certain point. You know what I mean? These are kids that, you know, don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? We are the ghetto school. Robinson has a rival, which is Plant, which is the preppy school. We were the ghetto school. You know what I mean? It wouldn't surprise me if I went there now and there's like, you know, metal detector. You know, it was one of those things. You know what I mean? So we don't know what the fuck we're going to be walking into if we walk down that road. We can walk towards them. You know what I mean? It would be one of those things. So I'm like, what are we doing, bro? He's like, we ain't doing nothing. You going that way, I'm gonna go try and talk to him. Bro. I didn't like that idea at all. I didn't like the idea of us splitting up at all. he was just like, bro, go. I've been here longer. I know these people. These are the people he grew up around. You know what I mean? These are the people that, he grew up around, this and the third. So, and I couldn't fight this dude. Like I told you, he's a bit bigger than me. If dude wanted me to not be a part of this joint, he would probably throw me to keep me away from this joint. And then I'm not exaggerating this joint. So, as much as I didn't like it, I kept going. We separated. So I'm like, just want to get home. Just running. So keep in mind, big crowd coming towards him. I keep running this way, main traffic, and then through the front gate of the apartments. So I'm walking through, this and a third. I'm getting to the back of the apartments because that's where our apartments are. And I see a whole different crowd of kids holding some people that I know hostage, basically. And I'm like, bro, this is not the same crowd that my dude was walking towards. This is a whole different crowd. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, this, like I said, this has gone from 3 big kids picking on one kid to 2 separate crowds that me and my boy have to deal with by ourselves. So, and here's the thing, old dude, they know old dude, they know my boy. So I'm thinking maybe he's getting it better than me because these they don't know us. We never grew up here. Like I told you, we grew up on the other side. You know what I mean? This is a whole different territory for us. So I'm trying to get the people that I know to safety inside my apartment. So including the kid that was being bullied. So I'm like, come on, get up. We don't got to stay here. We don't got to sit here, this and the third. So we're moving. And it's hard to, keep your head on a swivel when there's so many people around you. They could be holding whatever, and you don't really pick up on it because there's so much stuff happening. So you got to keep in mind, you got to get these people inside the apartment. You got to make sure that, nobody tries to, do stuff, this and the third. So my mind is trying to pick up on everything. And guess what? I am not capturing everything. I am literally trying to make sure, let's just go. You know what I mean? And they are stopping because of fear, this and the third. I'm like, just keep going. I'm right here, this and the third. And then there are kids running through the crowds, picking up their bag, running off, and I have to run, grab the bag, get it back to the person. Go. I'm trying to contain this. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. I'm like, yo, this is way too much. I'm just one person. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden, I'm close, and all of a sudden, boom. My vision is hazed. I am like, this is the hardest I have, I'm not going to say that because that would be a whole different thing. And familiar fists on your body. At the time, this is the first time you're getting hit, with the fist at a young age. You have to calibrate, you know what I mean? And when it becomes a constant thing, you kind of get used to it, you know what I mean? This is the first time I have ever felt something, I would like to think I've ever been hit like this before. And it wasn't a full hit, it was a slap. Now, this slap made me dazed, you know what I mean? It was indescribable. To my right ear, Boom. Now I'm dazed. I'm looking around me, and I was like, you know what? Fight or flight. You know what I mean? I was like, who did that? Who did that? This and the third. And then everybody around me was like, oh, I don't know. This and the third. Da, 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 da. And I was like, I'm not going to just fight any one random person, because it could be, I'm not going to say they were innocent, you know what I mean? But they might have not been the ones to, throw that below. So I was like, fuck. We ended up in my apartment somehow, and at the door, it sounded like a freaking hurricane, just a bunch of bangs. It sounded third, da 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 da. And I was just like, bro, ooh, sorry. I was just like, bro, this is so like, just wild, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden I hear a bang at my door. I'm like, and I hear my boy, I hear my dude. I'm like, oh hell yeah, let me go ahead and get my boy in. This on the third. He's frantic, you know what I mean? He was like, yo, there's some guys that just want to talk to you. This on the third. Da, 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 da. I'm like, if you don't get your ass inside, we ain't talking to him. I tried talking to them peacefully, this and the third, and it escalated to this. Why would I want to continue talking to these guys? You know what I mean? Just come on, bro. Just come on. I'm not going out there to talk to some random guy, this and the third. And plus, he's a niggas. That's almost like an equivalent is like, oh, all right, stay right there. I got something for you. No! Get inside, bro. So I get my boy inside. And it's just crazy. You know what I mean? So we just waiting for everything to die down. And then all of a sudden, everything gets quiet. We hear the crowd move away. And my mom has always, had, trouble with, the law, not because of her decisions, but because of somebody in the household's decisions. And my mom, she works every day. She's one of those type of moms, and I didn't want that stress to be on her. So if I saw, I wanted to make sure that the cops were like, not gonna find us or anything. Like, it was just gonna wait. I don't know how young I was. I was just thinking like, okay, let me just make sure, if the cops ask, I would have just like, downplayed the whole thing so my mom doesn't have to deal with that stress. That was what was in my mind. So I go outside, I see the front, like our front porch is like fucked up. You know what I mean? This and the third. Like our trash can is like, it didn't really have anything in it. It was just like, flipped over or, broken or whatever, this and the third. So I'm walking out and I see no one. Everyone went home. Everyone was gone. I guess the excitement was over. So I begin to walk back and I see three people, two big guys, bigger than me and taller than my boy, on bikes, riding my way. I didn't think much of it, and then I saw like a little kid running with like a phone camera like this, no shirt, no shoes, just running. And I didn't really think much about it. So I'm just like walking back, you know what I mean? I'm walking back, and then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, yo, stop. Hey, yo, let me talk to you real quick. This on the third. And I'm like confused. And when I turned around, they were already there. I was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? And in my mind, they're probably looking for either my friend or, or the person, or the three people that, or not the three people, but the person that the three people was bullying, the person I was protecting. So I didn't know what they were looking for. So I was like, you know what? There's no crowd around this time. You know what I mean? I can talk to these people. Hey, how y'all doing? How can I help y'all? This under the da 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 da. He was like, I heard you hit my sister, bro. I heard you hit my sister. I was like, so apparently the story, well, this is I would like to take a little break and say how, like, everything on the news is not 100%, it's 90% bullshit. I think Denzel Washington can say it best.
You don't know any stories? No. All right, I'll tell you a story. This is a newspaper, right? It's 90% bullshit, but it's entertaining. That's why I read it, because it entertains me.
People will want to believe what they want to believe to do what they want to do to whoever they want to do it to. I think that's just as plain as that. I'm just going to get into. So they were looking for my boy that I got, that I took, that I grabbed inside. They were looking for him because he was the one that was holding back old girl. But keep in mind, he never hit her or anything like that. He was just keeping this girl from putting hands on me, while this girl was throwing herself this on the third, going crazy, being ignorant and belligerent to put hands on me, and ended up falling on the ground. That turned into, you hit my sister. Now I realize that this guy I'm talking to is the older brother, and I'm realizing that the other guy that's with him is probably his best friend. Now I'm talking to this dude while the other guy's behind me. I'm trying to resolve this as best as I could, because I didn't want to go into the house and then now our location is exposed. Like, these people didn't know our location, this and the third. I want to say, I would like to believe, you know what I mean? The crowd could have told them, this and the third. I'd like to believe that they didn't know. I'd like to say that. So I was like, if I don't go anywhere near the, spots, this and the third, they might be safe. Because keep in mind, the girl falling on the ground turned into, you hit my sister. The crowd could say, this is the building, this and the third, but they could have went to the other building. That's why I say I would like to believe they didn't know. So I'm trying to talk to him. I tried talking to him, and I saw a head nod. But it wasn't towards me. Keep in mind, there's a little kid recording this whole thing. I was talking to him, and old dude gave, not me, not the kid, a head nod. A person behind me. And then all of a sudden, everything, like, if I'm lying, I'm flying, everything slowed down for me. All of a sudden, I see like a black fist like coming from behind me to clock me. And for some reason, I couldn't move. It was just like I was just observing everything that was happening. Like I said, I never fought two people before, this and the third. And I was like, I have to make them, if I'm going to gain any advantage in this jumping, I have to make them play my game. I have to use my strengths, this and the third. These guys were a lot bigger than me, so a lot stronger than me. But I was definitely a lot faster, and I was a very fast kid. Just keeping it but I was one of probably the second fastest in my HRTC class, and I was fast in middle school. So I was like, okay, I got speed, I can do this. So as soon as the first fist clocked me in my face, I was like, okay, they're gonna think I'm gonna fall, and I'm just gonna go dip, you know what I mean? And so I dipped, but all of a sudden I was tired. Like, all the stamina that I just had ripped away. And I was like, I never felt this. Obviously I felt it before. Obviously when you run, you slowly decrease your stamina, this and the third. This wasn't that. It was a whole different thing. So I was like, okay, so now running is not an option. Like I wasn't gonna, like running to, hey, hey, and then dip off and then hey, 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 run off, this and the third, I wouldn't be able to do that. I was just like, what's the next best what's the next best thing that just anything, this and the third. For some reason, something told me, like something like told me, get to that car and take it. You know what I mean? Pause. Nope. Pause. You know what I mean? But just take what's being handed to you. Because I was like, I'm not gonna say that. Fuck it. It wouldn't be being jumped is an unfamiliar territory, but the blows were not. So I was, for some reason, something told me that car, get there, just take it, this and the third. So they beat me down, this and the third, and fast forward. I see a woman coming my way, wondering what the hell's going on, this and the third, speaking like in Spanish, this and the third. And the guy started to like duck off, like run off, like, he beat my sister, he did something to my sister, this and the third. Now, like I said, news is 90% bullshit. Things that y'all be hearing about celebrities, this and the third, is 90% bullshit, unless it's coming from their mouths, this and the third. So I'm sitting there in the pool of my blood. Don't know where it's coming from, by the way. So I sit up, this and the third, and I'm wearing like gray and gray pants, drenched in blood. Don't know where it's coming from. So I'm asking for help up because, I got kicked in my ribs, this and the third, it's hard for me to move. And she was like trying not to touch me, because all of a sudden, from the sister falling, turning into my sister got punched, to my sister getting raped. And it all stemmed from three big kids, mind you, picking on one little kid, and I wanted to talk and defend that little kid, and it turned into all that. So, now I'm sitting in an apartment's office. They are not really trying to, help me or anything like that, because they already have what I said in their mind. So, I call my mom. They give me a phone to call my mom, and I know my mom's phone number by heart. I call her. I'm upset, crying and trying to talk to her, this and the third. She was like, okay, I'm on my way, this and that. So fast forward, my mom, her mom, the people that I was protecting, and one of the girl that that fell on the ground, supposedly got punched, and that I supposedly did something to her, this and the third, was there. Her mom, her brother, this and the third, whatever was there. And I'm just, everything was happening over there while I was sitting in the chair, just because the pain like I said, like I've endured before, kind of just subsided. I'm a little bit sore, this and the third. You know what I mean? I can walk that off. I'm bruised up. This and the third. Like there's some swelling in like my face and shit like that. So, fast forward, we get into a car, and we get into the car to go to the hospital to get myself checked out. Now, like I said, everything that I say on this channel is real, this and the third. So, growing up, I've always had a nice smile. I've always been complimented on my smile. I had pride in my smile, in my teeth, this and the third. So, when I pulled down the car mirror because something was just not right, my mom doesn't know where the blood came from. I don't know where the blood came from. We think it's like a nosebleed or something like that. I pulled it down to look at my nose. I like tilt my nose up, as sore as it was. As I did that, my lip slowly like arched up, and there was a tooth gone. From the first hit, from the first blow, is what rocked my tooth out of my skull, and it was one of the fronts. So I was in shock, and I all that pain, and just like it didn't make sense. You know what I mean? I tried to do the right thing, and then it turned into this. It was just one of those things that so yeah. Fast forward, I was fine. I lost a tooth, this and the third. I was waking up with blood on my pillow. I felt like I didn't do enough, like to protect, the people that I was supposed to protect and stuff like that. And, I didn't go to school for I don't know how long. I ended up getting PTSD and depression from that whole event, to the point where I was like just confined. I confined myself to a corner of the apartment and like wouldn't really budge unless like to use the restroom or something like that. You know what I mean? It was just one of those things that I never went outside again. You know what I mean? Like that. I didn't brush my teeth because of how tender and how sore like it was and stuff like that, and I didn't want to look at myself in the mirror anymore. So my hair started growing a little wild and shit like that, and I was just like processing and stuff like that. I had dark thoughts in that corner. It was just a lot to deal with. And then, with the whole PTSD thing, I had a thing. I had a thing where I didn't like. I hated like if I saw like an open door, just a opened door wherever in the apartment, I would lose it. You know what I mean? I would just flip my shit. You know what I mean? I didn't know why. You know what I mean? Why I didn't liked open doors, and I still, people around me say that I still don't like open doors. I don't really notice it like that anymore. You know what I mean? I don't really flip my shit like that anymore. So I think I've grown past that or whatever, and I just try not. I don't know. But that's the third altercations that happened in school. Apparently the two people that jumped me were in my school. Now, their grade, not sure, but they were definitely bigger than, taller than me and my dude. So my dude was okay, you know what I mean? No severe damage or anything like that. Probably just roughed up, the center third. That's pretty much it. But, I had to go to the hospital, But, sorry, I think that was AC. But I was good, the center third. I'm here today. I'm glad to be standing here today, talking to you guys. Was there anything that I would have, done differently? I thought about this that day, like that. I feel like with everything that's happened, that day will also always, be, with me for till the day I die. But there'll be some moments that I, forget, but about the whole thing. But whenever, I smile or look into the mirror, there it is again. But I have always thought about, like what I could have done differently in the center third. Would I have done anything differently in the center third? Yes and no. I would have definitely, found a way to just, I felt like a bad friend, when I split, you know what I mean? From my boy. I felt like a horrible friend, you know what I mean? But like I said, there was no telling, what they would have done to me compared to what they would have done to him, you know what I mean? I would have definitely went with him down that street if he allowed, whether or not he allowed me to. And then I would have went looking outside probably. I don't know, because like I said, my mom, she already had enough stress, that's on the third, and I didn't want to add to it. So, I would have still, wanted to help the person that, I wanted to help, because it wasn't right, you know what I mean? It's on the third, somebody could be running their mouth, it's on the third. That doesn't mean, you have to end up, jumping, him, especially with the certain amount. Like the whole, first altercation when I was in school was different, because it was just me and him. But then when we had to separate, that's a whole different thing. It wasn't like the whole class closed the door and we all got onto it. That's a whole different thing. So, I don't know, that walking out that door, I'm not sure, because I just didn't want any stress from my mom. So I probably, looking back at it, I probably would have just, probably got inside a lot quicker or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. But that is the end of that video. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all take my story as a lesson or something like that. I don't know. I just kind of want to get this video over with. But at this point, yeah. All right, if you made it to this part of the video, I want to thank you guys for, staying all the way to the end. I realized that there was a lot of stuff that, like, a lot of questions that would probably be asked or anything like that. I don't really remember what happened with the two dudes, you know what I mean? I think one went to juvie or something like that, or they both went to juvie or something. I can't really remember, or like something. So yes, they did knock out my tooth. I never found that tooth or anything like that. I ended up getting temporary ones, like a temporary whatever, where they shave down the two teeth on opposite sides, like one tooth on the opposite. Okay, so there's a gap, and they shave down this tooth and the other tooth to make it like cup. You know what I mean? To, you know, to make like a little thing where it looks normal, which is why they are shorter. But apparently, you know, they didn't. I don't know. I don't wear them anymore because, you know, they fall out way too easy. Apparently, I produce way too much saliva for the, you know, dental semen to stay stuck or whatever, and, you know, that was the whole thing. So I just ended up just not like smiling as much, trying not to smile as much this on the third, and they said that I won't be able to get any permanence or anything like that until I turn the age 21. So once I get certain stuff out of the way, I will get that, you know, done or whatever, so I don't have to worry about them coming out or anything like that. So yeah, so I currently, you know, everyday life, I, you know, brush my teeth, everything, you know, this on the third, healed, you know, this on the third. Still feels a little weird sometimes when I think about it, this on the third. So just because I feel comfortable with you guys, I'm just gonna go ahead, you know, so all those times that y'all probably saw a gap in my mouth and they're like, what the hell happened there? This is the video, and yeah, that's me, and, you know, it's probably not noticeable like that, so yeah. That's that. Yeah. So usually, sorry, that was a whole joint. I just realized that, you know, I didn't really leave y'all off with, you know, like, there was a lot of questions. So if y'all made it to this end of the video, I want to thank you guys, each and every one of you guys. I hope that y'all are safe, and I hope that y'all are enjoying your new year, and y'all had a nice Christmas. If y'all would bow your heads as I lead y'all to prayer. Father God, I want to thank you for bringing me through moments that could have broken me, moments that where I stood up to protect someone else, even though it cost me pain. Thank you for preserving my life, my spirit, and my heart when things turn violent and unfair. I pray for everyone watching this, especially those who have been hurt while trying to do the right thing, those who carry scars and defending others, and those who still relive moments they never deserve to experience. Lord, heal what was taken, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. Restore confidence where trauma tried to settle. Replace fear with peace and pain with understanding. Teach us that courage doesn't always teach us that courage doesn't always look like winning the fight. Sometimes it looks like surviving, healing, and still choosing love. Cover my viewers with protection, wisdom, and strength. Help them stand up for what's right without losing themselves in the process. And remind us all that all our scars don't mean we're weak. They mean we lived, we cared, and we were kept. In Jesus' name we all pray. Amen. Alrighty. Alright, so this is probably one of the darker moments of my darker videos. This and the third. I'm looking at the timestamp, it's like an hour and 7 minutes, bro. This is crazy. There's probably a lot of stuff I'm going to cut out, but that's not the point, though. The point is that we made it to the end. I'm glad that, you know, I'm here talking to you guys, sharing my experience, hoping that you guys get through, you know, better days. This and the third. You know, I also share this because there might be people that feel alone experiencing certain things that no one else, you know, experienced, that no one else will truly understand. I understand that fully. So, I'm just letting y'all know that I am here. You know what I mean? Y'all can hit me up on my Instagram, talk to me, December 3rd, if y'all going through the bad day, or just want someone to talk to, December 3rd. That's pretty much it. Next video will be the finale, the final Altercations in School Part 4. I am happy that I am back, you know what I mean, December 3rd. I might not be filming here much longer, so it is what it is. I'll try. I'll be in a whole different situation where I'll try to make a video for you guys every Monday, but only God knows. So this is not goodbye. This is a hello, and I'll try and get y'all another video as soon as possible. Thank you guys for watching. This is the Real Uriah, and welcome to the Real Uriah channel. Thank you. Good night.